Behind Cleveland, Beyond Cleveland are BC Media productions. Our stories and episodes are made possible by the generous support of BC Media, friends, supporters, sponsors, and community members like you. If you are moved or inspired by any of the conversations we have shared, interviews, or content we've produced, we invite you to become a vital part of our growing community. Please subscribe or follow us online at behindcleveland.com or on one of the many platforms where you find your favorite content.
Welcome to another episode of Behind Cleveland. This July, we kick off our Human Stories series with an extraordinary talent whose journey from profound darkness to radiant light embodies the very essence of the human spirit and its resilience and artistic power. She's an unyielding soul artist, a self-proclaimed hope dealer whose art is deeply rooted in her personal journey and the story of others. In our interview, she courageously shares how poetry saved her life, her battle with low self-esteem and depression, feeling unseen, invisible, and unheard, often enduring bullying and the pain of a challenging home life. She describes her upbringing as a dark, hard place, necessitating her to grow up early, yet she transformed these struggles into a beacon of light, using her art and her poetry as a healing and healthy outlet. What truly sets her apart, her creative edge, is her unwavering commitment to authenticity and substance, defining success as having the freedom and time to do what she loves. We're talking about Xposyur with an X. Here's an excerpt from our conversation with her via phone from her studio in Akron, Ohio.
Poetry is essentially taking what's inside of you and placing it inside of the audience. So you're going to always come and leave inspired. You're going to always maybe come in feel like you're down by something. My prayer and hope is that you always leave free, that you're going to always hear about God or Jesus, because I am a Christian at some point, and you're just going to have a great time. You can bring your entire family, or you can make it a date night. You can make it a girls' night or something more intimate with you and your spouse, So those are some of the things you're going to hear, and you're going to have a good time. You're going to get your money's worth.
And you combined both your spoken word, your poetry, and your music together. I've seen some of the clips on your social media. Explain that process. What is that like? What are you hoping to achieve from that?
So I know my following is a broad range of ages, right? So people in middle school all the way up to people maybe in their 50s or 60s if we're looking at demographics and insights from social. So I have to cover a wide variety and range of music styles. Obviously, when I started playing in the church. Then you have things like R&B and hip hop and neo soul. A lot of people say I give them a Lauryn Hill, Debrat, Queen Latifah vibe. So I have to make something that everybody can understand and everybody can gravitate towards. So for me, when I'm writing spoken word, I don't necessarily hear the music first, right? Versus with me writing a rap, it's the other way around. I hear the music. I then sit down in my space in my house, whether I need to find the right key for it. I have a keyboard, I have a drum set in my house. I'm teaching myself bass along with some other people that's helping me. I find the right key, the right note, right pitch, and then I create the music first if I'm rapping. Then I rap over it. Versus if I'm doing poetry, it's a strong emotion or something that I'm feeling that I don't necessarily make the music first, but I put out the emotion first. Yeah. And then we create from the ground up. So exposure is a little different. I'm not a person, and I only work with a very few producers because I like to lock in with my producers. So shout out to A.O. Jones and shout out to Goldframe. And shout out to some other people I've worked with too, Shotgun. We built my music from the ground up. I don't go into the studio and let the producer be like, well, I made this, and this. Choose that. I don't really like that, how people do. Also, shout out to Hyphy. I can never forget my best friend. But, so once I write and I spit the poem in the studio, then we go in and build every piece of the music around it. So music that you hear around my poetry, it was never created first. We created it purely off of emotion of what I was saying. And that makes my studio session take longer because it's not something that's already pre-made.
So would you say that gives you a creative edge over others? A format that's been working well for you? And why do you think it's working well?
Yes, it definitely gives me an edge because most of my sound, it's not what's typical right now, right? So that may be a little bit of a challenge that I'm facing as well. Like, I don't talk about things that normal 34-year-olds talk about right now, right? I'm not half naked. I'm not talking sexual every couple of sentence. I'm not talking about how much money I have, right? Those are the things that sell. Sex sells, to be honest. And so with me coming in talking complete opposite, it's been a little challenging to find my audience, but I also know that gives me an edge because it's like, oh, she's different. She done been through some things and came out on the other side. Listening to somebody else is like, oh, okay, that's typical. And so building from the ground up is everything that you feel, every sound wave, every instrument may hit a different part of a different person's spirit, you know? Some deep notes can literally speak to someone's soul. Some other high notes can literally lift someone up. So that's definitely my creative edge because it comes from the heart. Nothing I do not have no substance. That's another part of my creative edge. I always have substance. I have a firm and a sure foundation with everything that I do. I walk in purpose. And I can tell a lot of people who are in the music business don't really know theirs until they get in it. They find some trouble and then they have to find it. My advantage is I already know who I am, whose I am, and where I'm trying to go. I don't want to be number one on everything. I need 1,000 solid followers or more. I don't want to limit myself, but I don't need 1 million and this, that, and the third. No, I want my people that's supposed to be here.
Right. So you're really embodying and truly an artist.
Yeah.
So the music industry and just the landscape of most of the creative fields today are in what people would say trouble. It's not like it's not structured the same way. The landscape is very different. What would you say to people who are aspiring to be like you or to get into a creative field, whether that's to be a poet, become a poet, or to be a musician or a vocalist? What does success look like today for an artist in these sectors? How does one sort of speak make it?
Okay, so success, in my opinion, is freedom of time. They tell you, oh, you got 12 hours and then 24 hours in a day, and your job takes up a certain amount of those. And sometimes the job can drain the creativity you have and make it seem like your dreams are farther away than they actually are. So for me, success for me is waking up and being able to do what I want to do, not what I have to do. A lot of people look at it differently. It's a privilege to be able to say, I get to do something, not I have to do something.
Yes.
It's a privilege for me when I can wake up and say, I'm going to create maybe a new design for a hoodie or something like that. And I drop it on social media and I have instant people, hey, give me one. I need to buy one. This, that, and the third. That is success to me. Success is being able to help my family and myself and be okay without the excess stress and worry. Success is being able to travel and it never feels like work because I do what I love. I'm telling you, I don't think I would have traveled as much without this gift. And I've traveled to a lot of places off the strength of this gift. And I see the world off this gift. That's success to me. Success is being able to say my business bank account has more money in it than my personal one.
That's a very cool perspective you have. So talk to me more about like your work. What current projects are you working on and what is the inspiration behind them?
I'm currently working on an album, Fake Forever. I'm currently working on what I aspire and hope to be a double-sided album, half poetry, half rap. Sometimes we're going to take the same concept, same titles, but talk about two different experiences with it. Like I said, my creative process is a little different. So we started with the rapping first. The album is going to be called By the Way, I'm Okay. The last couple of years of my life, I went through some heartbreaking, gut-wrenching things that I don't even like to speak on anymore. But once you listen to the album, you'll understand all the phases I had to go through to come out. I had a hard heart for a long time due to, the experiences and then even things and situations that I got myself in. I talk about those as well. I try to be as open and free as I can with my listeners. I'm not necessarily as much as an open book as I used to be because I know it's consequences with that now, but I do still try to remain an open book. Also, I'm working on a book of principles. We're in the editing stages. It's fully written. Very proud of it. And it's just principles that I live by, that Xposyur lives by, that has helped me get to this level of success. And I do some interviews where they ask certain questions that I'm just going to explain in depth. So I have different principles and different rules that I live by. For example, one of them I talked about is passion over paycheck until your passion produces a paycheck, because that's the story of my life. 6 or 7 years of me having this poetry, this creative career, I did not get paid a dime. And that was okay with me because I was passionate about it. And I still am passionate about it. Now, do I lose the motivation from time to time? Yes. Do I lose the passion sometimes? Slightly, but am I still passionate about it? Absolutely. Absolutely, because passion is not equivalent to money when you're starting out. Then it started growing for me to where I didn't even start charging people. I didn't think about pricing until somebody was like, hey, you deserve to get some type of compensation for what you are doing. You are doing soul work. And I never even thought about it. And I'm like, okay.
So yeah, I always find that very interesting, especially as a creative or an artist from that perspective, rather. At what point do you decide to do that, to, be compensated for the beauty or your creations and what have you? And then how does one traverse that? Like, when is it the best time to do that? Or how does even one move in that direction? As you stated, many years it has taken you to finally get paid for your passion. So what was that pivotal moment that changed all of that, other than, someone advising you to start making sure that you are compensated for the things that you do? Can you share with us, like, from your perspective as a creative, but also from a general perspective? Like, I think this is a very, paradoxical question for many creative types.
Yeah.
Right?
For me, again, like a lot of artists, I started out in the church. I was attending a church called Liberty Tabernacle in Barberton at the moment. And at first, and this is probably going to blow your mind, at first, I would just start writing poetry. And then after, they used to have youth Sundays. So I started performing them. And then when I was performing them, I would throw them away once I was done with them. So I have a bunch of work that's probably in the trash until the first lady of that church was like, you need to start giving these to me. And she actually started typing them up for me. So my pivotal moment was, I did a poem back then that hit the city like wildfire. I mean, they put it on CDs. It got distributed to churches, to the streets worldwide. I mean, nation, well, citywide. And it completely baffled me. Like, I didn't think a person that was so invisible, I didn't think anything that I was saying mattered until I shared that poem. And that's when poetry nights and everybody started looking for me, seeking me out. We grew up, I didn't grow up the best. We were kind of broke, so I didn't have a cell phone. So I was like late teens, early 20s, being able to like seek me out, and me having to start driving to these places, me having to start putting in time, setting aside time to start memorizing new pieces. When I started getting calls for weddings, I do my weddings a little differently. I get the love story from the couple. I write a specific poem for them. I frame it. I give it to them as a wedding gift, and I never speak that poem again because it's their poem. So when my time started being affected, that's when I was like, okay, time is everything to me. So I probably should start getting compensated for my time. And when I started opening up for celebrities, gospel celebrities, different celebrities coming to the city or coming to Cleveland or coming to Youngstown, when I start getting calls to be the opening act for this or that, or, that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm on to something. I think I'm finally good at something. And if I need to take my time out to do this, then I need to start treating this like a career. Like, this is my job. Like, this is what I do.
So the mind, you shifted in your mind and your focus. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's very crucial, I think. I think a lot of people don't give that enough attention, and they really fantasize more than they actually are being productive.
Yeah. I do not like people who do not want to pay their dues to the game. And I maybe I shouldn't say I don't like, I'm hesitant and prudent because you have to pay your due. To come in and instantly think somebody owes you something is a sense of entitlement.
Mm.
And respect the craft. Don't just come in thinking you're number one. There's somebody I still call boss man here, regardless if people think I'm number one or I haven't lost a poetry slam, which I have not in this area. I've lost one in Cleveland, but I came in second place. So it's just, I don't even do that. You know what I mean? So the entitlement has to go. You have to know that you're going to be broke for a little bit, but you have to know too that you have what it takes to get that money back that you lost.
Yeah. Talk about things and people that inspire you, artists, creatives, intellectuals. Yeah. What books have you read or are you reading?
Oh, wow.
What things shaped you from an intellectual standpoint?
So from an intellectual standpoint, I'm looking at the book right in my head. It is by Teray Roberts. I'm looking at it. I just wrote it down the other day. Teray Roberts, which is Sarah Jakes Roberts' husband, he wrote a book. It has to do windows and mirrors. I'm looking right at it, and I can't call the name. But also, too, I listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to a lot of interviews that Rhapsody has done. I'm a big Rhapsody fan. She just won a Grammy. She's very much neo-soul, 90s, heavy bars, heavy hip-hop. I like all old school, not super old school, 90s. Hip-hop artist Queen Latifah, MC Light. My favorite singer, Chase Evans. People who have soul, you know what I mean, who have substance. I'm very big on mentors, whether they're spiritual mentors, financial mentors, whatever. Dr. Paul Ware Jr. has been very instrumental to me, who has his doctorate in psychology just to elevate my mentality. I have a team around me, my finance team. I have a Black accountant and I have a Black banker. Joseph Ray and Miss Joy Wilson, very, very influential in my decision making with what I do with my music money that I get. So I've built a substantial team around me, and also my pastors, you know, Pastor Eric and Pastor Amber Nevins. So I try to cover myself from every aspect of my life so I can continue to elevate. And even my circle, my friends group. You know, I don't like average things, and nothing around me is average, not even my friend group. So you have to surround yourself with people who won't let you sit in a certain level of greatness that you think is the peak. That's going to always encourage and push you to go higher, to elevate. And right now I'm taking a class, NYU and Rolling Stone, modern journalism, because eventually I want to get off into documentaries and things like that. So I'm always looking to elevate and to learn and to sit under my leaders and my mentors and glean their advice. I'm very big on, I'm looking at him right now. I'm drawing a blank, but I do read. Right now I'm reading 2 evangelism books, which are great as well. But yeah, I read a lot and I listen to things a lot. And I think that helps me with terminology, with just being a better person, honestly.
Yeah, someone else's lived experience, develop emotional intelligence and empathy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you share some of your work with us? Do you want to just share some things with us? Yeah. And
okay, one of my favorite pieces to do is called Same Fruit, and it's a shorter one as well. But I'm very big on Nina Simone, who says the artist's job is to reflect the time. And so here in Akron, we had a pretty bad event happen a few years ago where police claimed the life of a young man called Jalen Walker. And so the city protested and rioted, and it was crazy. So I felt like an artist, that's my job, to bring these certain things to light and to keep his name alive. So it's called Same Fruit. Same fruit, looking like the same fruit. I mean, ain't nothing changed fruit. I mean, bodies rearrange fruit. See, melanin is something that magnetics love to consume. Swiffer the evidence under the rug with the rules. Semi-automatic Glocks love chocolate. Chocolate to dinner. The chocolate man was late because in the dark lays riddled with 60 bullets toasted like Frito-Lay smoke on his loins, blood on his brow. Little beauty was. I mean, I don't know, swerving in Akron, driving down by Bridgestone, and the next thing I know, he becomes like the ice cream parlor, Cold Stone or Stone Cold, Texas feet, soul gone back. They called for Jalen Walker's flesh. but in no particular age bracket. Long as my firearm and your bean cross paths. Now, all of a sudden, Akron PD don't gotta wear name tags. Our black boys are a bean's favorite meal. Our blood cries from the rivers like Tallahassee Teal. Unload the clip, cotton gin fans and body chills running like Harriet. No onions though to hide all scent, but they doing us like car fresheners, scratching snips. Burial makeup flawless like they just rolled his corpse into altar. Meanwhile, they digging up Black Wall Street remains out in Tulsa. My existence has nothing to do with your inferiority complex. Hitler must have lied the way they hit her. Breonna Taylor, Mike Brown should have been in college. Trayvon Martin tasted the rainbow, then went to meet the rainbow maker. How disgustingly beautiful. You can only poke a bear for so long for that bear get to showing his teeth. So now we got to stand on each other's shoulders, much like a bear on hind feet. I don't want your false remorse. I need action to change course. To be black in America is to be hopeful in America. But also to be black in America is to be hopeless in America. It's the same song, y'all. 3 years later, it's the same song we still singing. But I guess we should shut up, right? Because at least we ain't hanging. Strange fruit. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. You're very talented. I'm so inspired.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
In closing, what would you like to tell? What would be your message to the world? What would you like to share?
Wow, that's a great question. No one has ever asked me this. That's a great question. My message to the world is that I'm here. By the grace of God, literally, I'm here and I'm taking up space and I'm doing my part in this world to make it a better place for the next generation. And I encourage everybody to do the same. It doesn't have to be music. Whatever your wildest, weirdest dream is, go after it, because that's the thing that you're supposed to do. And don't look to the left and don't look to the right. Stay in your lane, run your race, and finish strong. It's always a reward for being authentic. Everybody else is taken. You have what you need inside of you to be successful. So just go for it. Do it. And I'm coming. I'm coming for everything I deserve and everything that I'm supposed to have.
Well said. Thank you so much. And lastly, let everyone know how they can find you, what your latest projects you're working on, and where they can purchase your music and in your art.
Yeah, so Xposyur is spelled Xposyur. On all platforms, it's Xposyur, the Hood Apostle. So look me up and do that. Right now, we're in the process of making me a website, but I do have merch available, hoodies. I'm a very big coffee drinker, so I do coffee and conversations. You can grab yourself a mug. I have T-shirts as well. We're working on socks and for the summer as well. Or you can just find my music on anything we have available, Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. Also, go check out my family podcast. It's called Becoming Well with the Sips On. We are releasing season 2 starting at the beginning of July, so go catch up on season 1. It's a family podcast of 6. And that's what we're doing. I'm not one of those people that won't respond. You know, I'm a person just like everybody else. And so I love to get to know my supporters and even come support you if I can.
On that note, thank you for tuning in to this first episode of our Human Story series for July, Hope Dealer, Xposyur. We hope this story has resonated deeply with you. To support our impact and work, please share this episode with others and consider visiting Behind Cleveland Human Campaign online store for unique merchandise. Until next time, take care now.